So we do have breaking news. It looks like the Mariners have traded for Teoscar Hernandez from the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, the trade package that the Mariners got out of him, here's what it was. So they traded away Eric Swanson and Adam Macko. Now, who are they? So, of course, Eric Swanson was one of the premier bullpen pitchers, which I did like, and I am truly going to miss him. But before I weep about Eric Swanson, let's go over Teoscar Hernandez. So Teoscar Hernandez, I think he was like right field, which I would think that he's going to play right field for the Mariners anyway. His numbers last year was 25 home runs, batted .267 with a .360 on base percentage. That part scares me. He had 77 RBIs and 35 doubles, so he does seem to be more of a big impact bat, but could strike out a lot because he has struck out 152 times and only walked 34 times. So that part I'm a little bit nervous, but they are going for the impact bat as they need in the playoffs. He did hit 2 home runs in the playoffs this year against the Mariners. But I was hoping that the Mariners would get someone like a Brandon Nimmo or Yoshida. I mean, Yoshida seems more like a long shot. I mean, you never know how you're going to be able to get those international players. But, I mean, I like Nimmo better because he had the better defense and he got on base more. As if I am an advocate of getting on base. I blame that movie/book Moneyball for getting me all into walks and on base percentages. But it looks like the Mariners want to go all in and make that big move and try to get to the World Series. And I would think that he replaces more of that role of Mitch Haniger. Mitch Haniger is kind of the same thing. His defense, I thought, wasn't the most spectacular. From what I heard, Hernandez's defense isn't that much spectacular at all either. Maybe makes some occasional catches, but when I looked at the highlights, he didn't look that fast. So I was hoping a little bit of the speed kind of thing. But with a big bat, you can't really go wrong with that, and hopefully he makes those big clutch hits. So we'll see. Now let's go into Eric Swanson. So Eric Swanson, of course, was on the bullpen. I really did like him. He was one of my more favorites. He had a 3-2 record with a 1.68 ERA. And come to think of it, I think he should have been used more in the division series. But yeah, like Scott Servais, like, why didn't you use him? Like, this is exactly why you're not the manager of the year, because of your inability to make bullpen decisions. Now, before I get all sidetracked, here's what his actual numbers. Had a 1.68 ERA. His strikeout to walks, I really did like it. 70 strikeouts and only 10 walks. He had about 3 saves, so that I'm a little bit going to miss him a bit for that. And it looks like that he would be a free agent as late as 2026, as the Blue Jays with Eric Swanson would have 3 years of arbitration options. So, I mean, I guess the Mariners just wanted to, like I said, go for the impact bat, but I was hoping they gave up more of a Flexen or Gonzalez, but of course, I guess their values do not stack up as much as Eric Swanson. So hopefully either the Mariners will trade Flexen away, will get someone else, or make good use of him in the bullpen, because I do think that he can contribute to that. So we'll see. Now, the minor leaguer that the Mariners gave up, it was Adam Macko. He is supposed to be, now I'm going to point this one out. So according to this guy on Twitter, Joe Doyle, and I really think you should take a look at his Twitter. He has really good points for his baseball. He really knows a lot about the minor leagues. So I'm going to read this tweet. It goes, for Toronto, if Adam Macko can stay healthy, he's got a shot of becoming an absolute shutdown high leverage reliever. At this stage, given his injury history and his track record with command, I'd put that likely of him starting pretty low. So, and yeah, it looks like he had injury problems. Like here, in his average appearance, he only averaged maybe 8 games in the season, starting in 2019 when he started with the Mariners. But he had decent numbers, I would say. Like, other than 2022, well, that was in Peoria. I'm not going to look at that. But in his Everett days, which that is the highest he's gone to, A+, he had 60 strikeouts and 20 walks. But his ERA was a near 4, so I guess Mariners didn't really have much of need of him, since the Mariners do have plenty of pitching prospects for now in the minor leagues. So I guess maybe the Mariners can develop another one or two and have them go to the majors, but I do think the Mariners should go out and actually get anyone to at least play a setup role or that middle relief role in the bullpen. Because until then, I mean, I see Andres Munoz being the favorite for bullpen closer. I think he should be the closer. He has really good stuff. He is recovering from a surgery, so we'll have to see how that makes an impact on him. But either way, I do hope that the Mariners get anything for the bullpen. Now for the left field, outfield. So center field, it's going to be Julio Rodriguez, no doubt about that. Right field, Teoscar Hernandez, probably. And then left field, you have a platter. You've got Dylan Moore, Sam Haggerty, Jared Kelnick, maybe Kyle Lewis. But there's question marks. Sam Haggerty's coming back from an injury. Dylan Moore, I mean, we saw the most we can get out of him. He's more of a utility player, probably plays more of that role of the Willie Bloomquist, Mark McLemore's, Rich Amaral's. And then, I think I've already said it, but Kyle Lewis, he has injury problems, and I'm not the biggest fan of him either, although I do like the kid, but he just has to stay healthy. And he's not the most consistent with his bat. I mean, just for fun, I'll go ahead and look at his numbers just for you guys. So Kyle Lewis, in his rookie season, because that's the one where I can have the most honest numbers out of him, in his 58 games, 11 home runs, 28 RBIs, he had a 364 on base percentage, batted 262. So, I mean, with 71 strikeouts, 34 walks, but he has to stay healthy. I mean, I'm telling you, the guy has to stay healthy. And then you got Jared Kelnick, where now I really want to look at his numbers. Now, I know that this is one of my more non-conventional kind of videos where I should be editing, but I have a day job that's coming up. So, like I said, starting a YouTube channel, do not quit your day job unless you know for sure that you could be like Mr. Beast. And even then, Mr. Beast took years to get it right. Now, here is Jared Kelnick in his last season. In his 54 games, had 7 home runs, batted 141 with a 221 on base percentage, struck out 61 times, walked 16 times. And it gets better when you look at 2021. He had 106 strikeouts. That's so bad. 36 walks. So yeah, there's definitely room for improvement in the left field because also, as we all know, and as if I feel like I'm beating a dead horse about it, but it seems like Jesse Winker is on his way out because he still has a 1 year, $8 million left on his contract. I don't expect him to come back at all to contribute for the Mariners, so I would think that they're going to trade him away. Who will take him, though? Who knows? But as of now, it sounds like they're going to have to eat that contract of his. But I do like that he does get on base a lot, but he did strike out a lot, but he made up for it with his walks. So going forward, I hope Mariners still continue to make moves, improve the bullpen, add one more starter, get that outfielder, or at least if you know for sure that you can get Kyle Lewis and Jared Kelnick going. But until then, let's hope that Justin Hollander, now the new GM, he will continue to make the moves along with Jerry Dipoto. And then we'll see how it all turns out. It's only been like week 2 of this offseason, and there's already moves into fruition. Now, before I go, it sounds like the reason that they made such a trade was because Hernandez is going to be a free agent after the next season. So maybe that they're going to look into one of those players like Bogarts, Turner, maybe Correa. I hope the Mariners at least get one of them, but that's, of course, it goes in 2 ways. Either they are willing to play second base or J.P. Crawford is willing to play second base. So I would imagine that there will be those kind of conversations that will come into play if they were to join the Mariners. But until then, we'll just have to see how everything plays out. And hopefully they make the right moves going into 2023 to get that World Series.